Good morning, brave adventurers, and welcome back to the channel. I am AmalgamAsh, and today I wanted to share with you the crowdfunding of HeirQuest Pocket. HeirQuest Pocket is a dungeon crawler that fits in your pocket, takes between 30 and 60 minutes to play, is for 1 to 4 players, and has a recommended minimum age of 12 years old. I'll put a link in the description below where you can find this crowdfund. It's being done through the GameCrafter.com. The game is by Victor Robles and Lizurin Games, and right now you can score HeirQuest Pocket in this sale for 14% off. It is currently $38.64 USD. For the next 16 days, this crowd sale event is going to continuously lower that price the more people come in and buy. So it's actually a pretty interesting way of doing things. HeirQuest Pocket is a cooperative game for 1 to 4 players in which a group of heroes will have to explore a dungeon until they complete the chosen quest. During the adventure, they will have to eliminate all the threats that come their way and claim all the treasures they can. The crowdfund site has this helpful lore video to explain why you would want to run into these dark, dank, deadly dungeons, gallery pictures of how everything is set up and what a game in progress might look like on your table, helpful how to play images to show you exactly how this is all going to play out, and a sneak look at the heroes, spells, treasures, and encounters. These are all in the form of cards, by the way. Finally, there is an unboxing video right on the crowdfund page, so you can see what the actual physical components of the game will look like once you have opened up your HeirQuest Pocket box. We do get a list of components, and here is where I would offer my opinion that this should be definitely made a little bit more clear, a little more organized, but we do get 1 deck of 16 cards, a set of 24 dice stickers, so yay, dice stickers, 1 box, a deck of 4 cards, a deck of 16 cards, 1 document, that's the rule sheet, I can see that, a deck of 20 cards, 19 cards, all of these should just be added together, but it looks like we get over 90 cards altogether, and then of course we get the card stand plastic clips, so you can take your hero cards and put them into the card stand so that you can walk them around, and we get 1 blank D6. I don't know why we get 24 dice stickers if we are getting a blank D6. I guess in case the stickers wear off, maybe 24 was the smallest amount of stickers they could apply to a sheet in this order. It does look like it's going to be a made-to-order type thing. I don't know anything about the Game Crafter. I would say that that's kind of what the platform is just by looking at it here. So all of this might look a bit familiar to you, and any reason for that might be that it is hot on the heels of the failed launch of HeirQuest Pocket. HeirQuest Pocket was a game that made it possible to play HeroQuest, but with a deck of cards. And what I'm talking about has nothing to do with the official Avalon Hill HeroQuest adventure card game that they actually did release and was available for all of 30 seconds. That's still in limbo. People are calling Chris Nadeau to this day, asking him, what about the card game? I'm sure it's a hot topic that is ignored as much as possible. This has nothing to do with that. But there was a member going around the HeroQuest various Facebook groups and likely other places as well, advertising this game that they had designed, put together, and were trying to make commercially available. And of course, they got the dreaded cease and desist letter. That was to be expected. Well, they did the correct thing, in my opinion, and they took their creative energy and their willpower to make a game, and they funneled it into something that was, while as derivative, completely disconnected from any existing IP. So, HeirQuest Pocket is born. And one thing I did want to say, and this is just me, doesn't represent the opinion of anybody else, is most of the time when I see the creator introducing this game or talking about this game, there is inevitably a comment talking about, wow, copyright infringement. There is no copyright infringement. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to see there is no connection to the HeroQuest IP in this game or in any of its components. They're just fantasy components. There is an aesthetic sort of similarity, but that's not something that's really copyrightable. The elf, dwarf, wizard, and barbarian or Amazon or whatever 4th hero, that's not something that can be copyrighted, and that's actually an extremely common element of these 90s board game dungeon crawlers. So I say that in anticipation of the comments that I'm sure I would have found, or maybe still will find, in this video, but there's no copyright infringement here. Anyway, let's get to the how to play. At least, let's see if I can figure out how to play it by looking at the images. So I'm assuming that this card, the card with the stairwell, is the one that gets put down first. And then the heroes that are playing get put on the board. And so the elf decides to open a door. And in this case, it looks like it's going to be the east door. Step 2, draw a dungeon card. and then put the dungeon card adjacent to the open door. So the dungeon card is going to have all of your rooms, or the dungeon deck, I guess I should say, will have all of your dungeon rooms in the cards. Now on the bottom right corner of the card, look at the icons. Draw and put 2 encounter cards face down on the table per hero in play. So 2 skulls times this icon, which I would assume means hero. So if there are 2 heroes and you enter this room, it's 2 skulls times hero, so it would be 4 skulls you'd put down. But in this case, it's just the elf, so there's 2 monsters being put down. These cards are the enemies in the room. They are in the shadows, so the elf doesn't know how powerful they are yet. All right, rules image number 2, the elf attacks an enemy in the shadows. We've got the same setup as before in the above image, except instead of being in the stairwell room, the elf has moved on into the east room. And I suppose that the player of the elf has declared that they're going to attack one of the enemies in the shadows. So reveal the attacked encounter card and confront it to the elf card. We have an orc, it seems. And now the elf's battle card is sat down and compared to the orc's battle card. Put an orc mini card with a plastic stand adjacent to the elf. The elf throws his attack dice. He has 2 skulls. And the orc throws his defense dice, and that's 1 doom shield. Because right here on the cards, very small, so I'm going to zoom in, and it's going to look terrible, but it looks like the elf has, I'm going to assume that's 2 arrows, so 2 could be a ranged attack, 6 toughness, 2 defense, I would think 3 intelligence, or mind points as we might want to call them, and 7 movement. But that's just a guess looking at the stats on the card. I'm sure the terminology is different. I'm sure I got lots of things wrong. But anyway, the orc will block 1 hit, but suffers 1 toughness point and dies. So the elf is thrown 2 attack, the orc's only blocked 1 of them, and we know that the orc can only throw these 2 defense dice, but he only got 1 shield when he rolled his defense dice. He's only got 1 toughness, and that's indicated by this strong arm symbol. So it looks like in HeroQuest terms, we would say 3 attack dice, 1 body point, 0 mind points, 2 defense dice, and 5 movement. That's kind of what I'm thinking all of that translates to. But with each card representing a room, I'm wondering if the tiles on the card represent spaces that take up those movements, or if you're actually allowed to move from card to card with your movement. Anyways, moving on. There are no more enemies in the room for now, so the elf can look for treasures, and we see the treasure icons on the bottom left corner of the card. So I suppose at this point the player is declaring that they are searching for treasure and drawing a treasure card per chest icon on the card. And it looks like he drew 3 treasure cards, but one of them was a metal armor, and now the elf can equip the metal armor, put the card below the hero card. And in this case, the metal armor has a description that reads, "This metal armor allows you to add 1 extra combat die to your defense. May not be used by the wizard." Yes, again, very, very familiar terminology, very familiar wordage. It is what it is. But very nice. All right, looking at the heroes of HeirQuest Pocket, perhaps the heirs, I could call them. The elf has got 2 attack and 2 defense, 6 body points, 3 mind points, and 7 movement. The wizard has 9 mind points, 4 body points. 1, I guess that is an attack die, basically, but the symbol here represents how this character actually attacks. And in this case, it looks like some sort of bottle, so maybe representative of an alchemical solution that gets thrown at a bad guy. And 2 defense dice. And we also have a knight, and we have an Amazon. And who knows if there are more heroes than this, or if there will be more heroes presented through expansions. But anyways, the rest of the stuff looks very derivative, but at the same time, yes, is still very much removed from the game that we all know and love. That actually looks like the traps are included within the encounter deck for this game system, so it'll be interesting to see exactly how you deal with traps going through. I would imagine that this appears as an enemy hiding in the shadows, and then when you flip the card, do you just automatically suffer the damaging effects of the trap, or do you get a chance to look for traps? That's something that I would like to know. Anyway, that's all I've got. I wanted to take a quick look at HeirQuest Pocket, give it a little bit more attention. It does seem like a really cool product, and I really appreciated that the creator did what they could to make this separate and their own. That's it for me. Check it out, the link below, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye for now.